The Politics Nation, I'm Al Sharpton. Tonight's lead, new extremism from Tea Party Congress. Just a short time ago, a Republican-controlled committee voted for a resolution that could soon lead to U.S. Attorney General Eric Holder being held in contempt of Congress. All the Republicans voted for this. All the Democrats voted against it. This vote was unnecessary, and it was purely political. Earlier, the president asserted executive privilege, arguing that private communications between officials in the executive branch cannot be divulged to Congress. What is this Republican-generated scandal all about? For 14 months, Attorney General Holder and the Justice Department have responded as Congressman Darrell Issa led a partisan series of Into Fast and Furious, a so-called gun-walking operation. The program allowed guns to be sold to low-level criminals in hope they would then lead law enforcement to bigger criminals. It was dreamed up during the Bush administration and ended by Attorney General Holder. Republicans have sold this to the public as a fight over documents, but it's really just politics. And along the way, Republicans have been conjuring up all sorts of arguments. Like today, when they were outraged, just outraged over gun-walking programs.
This is a legitimate investigation into an operation, the Fast and the Furious, that was so flawed that it flew right into the face of common sense.
Our concern here is about gun walking.
Their concern isn't about gun walking. If it were, they'd be investigating the 3 gun-walking programs under George W. Bush. No, this is about tearing down a man who has turned over thousands of pages of documents, who has testified repeatedly before Congress, and who has bent over backwards while the GOP conducted his witch hunt. And despite all of this, Republicans have the nerve to say they are being accommodating.
I continue to believe that Attorney General Eric Holder brought this upon himself by refusing to cooperate with Congress.
We've been exceptionally patient. I think Chairman Issa has bent over backwards to be accommodating.
Citizens in my district are wondering why we have been so gracious in the time length that we have pursued this Fast and Furious issue.
It's outrageous, and Democrats call them out again and again and again for their outlandish political tactics.
For the past year, you've been holding the Attorney General to an impossible standard.
I am horrified that you are going with this contempt charge.
The way that he was treated when he was here testifying before this committee, I must admit, I've never seen anybody treated in that fashion.
We're going to demean him. We're going to tarnish his reputation, because that's how we get to the President of the United States.
The position and prestige of this committee has been diminished, and the result should concern us all.
Joining me now is Congressman Emanuel Cleaver, Democrat from Missouri and chairman of the Congressional Black Caucus. He wrote a letter condemning Chairman Issa's vote today. And Congresswoman Jackie Spear, Democrat from California. She's on the Oversight Committee and voted no on the contempt resolution today. Thank you both for joining me this evening.
Happy to be with you.
Chairman Cleaver, let me start with you. How can you explain to our viewers what the Republicans did today?
Well, this is a very sad day, and I hope that the people around the country realize how sad it is. You know, the deer will first graze on the good fruit, and likewise, the best of the electeds or appointed officials are chewed up first, and that's what's happening to Attorney General Eric Holder. He is being chewed up for something that is just so non-existent that the people around the country ought to be outraged. And this is partisanship at its most base level. It is an insult, I think, to the body politic and to this nation.
Now, Congresswoman Spear, you were in the committee. You voted against this contempt citation being sent to the House. Let me show you what you said earlier today so you can expound upon it.
I want to apologize to the American people for yet another show of gotcha politics in this body.
We have received 7,000 documents. We have the AG more than willing to negotiate with us for the documents, frankly, that have nothing to do with the actual activities of ATF.
You were saying what? What were you, expound upon that. I mean, it was clear what you were saying, but tell us why such passion and why you were directly going after Chairman Issa.
The problem is that, on the one hand, the Republicans in committee wanted to use Fast and Furious as the reason for this contempt proceeding, but it has nothing to do with Fast and Furious. Fast and Furious should be investigated. We should find out why the ATF never informed the higher-ups within the Department of Justice. Either under President Bush and President Obama, neither of the AGs were informed. ATF has authority that, frankly, is unchecked, and that's what we should be looking at. What the AG is being held in contempt for by the action taken by the committee, a resolution now going before the full House, is they want to get to access the inter-office memos among those in the Department of Justice after a letter was sent to Senator Grassley and before the AG decided to rescind that letter when he realized that the letter was inaccurate.
But when you mention about the ATF under the Bush administration and Obama administration never telling the higher-ups in the Justice Department, they're not even asking about that. They're not bringing those people in front of the committee. This is not even the inquiry that you're going through in committee. Is that not right?
That's correct. In fact, the head of the ATF, Mr. Helmsen, who interviewed privately, said that he never informed any of the higher-ups. Was he brought before the committee to testify? No, because it did not follow the storyline that the Republicans wanted to move forward.
So he admitted that he never told the higher-ups, but he was never brought in front of the committee. But you bring in the Attorney General, not under Bush, but under President Obama, who stopped the Fast and Furious program, and you go through all of these kinds of moves, and now you voted to send up a contempt citation. Chairman, let me ask you, let me go back to you a minute. GOP leadership just last month was saying that a contempt vote would be overreaching. Politico reported Speaker John Boehner of Ohio, Majority Leader Eric Cantor of Virginia, and Majority Whip Kevin McCarthy of California had decided to slow Representative Darrell Issa's drive to hold the Attorney General in contempt. Some within House GOP leadership circles would like Issa to abandon his plan for committee and a floor vote. What changed, Mr. Chairman?
Well, politics. It's important for the listeners, Reverend, to understand that no Attorney General in the history of this republic has been held in contempt of Congress, not even John Mitchell of Watergate fame. It's quaint to say, but the ability of Congress to function productively depends on its ability to suppress its most base partisan adventures, and this is one. Whenever I think we look at the president rising in the polls, we're going to look at some kind of attempt to slander him, and in this case it's through a good and decent man who is just tarnished because he is doing what any attorney general would do in terms of investigating this. You can throw mud against the wall, and even though it will fall to the ground, a stain is there.
Now,
that's what's going to happen.
Again, no Attorney General, Congresswoman Spear, has ever been held in contempt of Congress. But look at some of the politics here. The NRA even got into this. The NRA got in saying that, and I'm going to read, the NRA has long-standing issues with Holder, something it said was no secret in a letter the group wrote to leaders of the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee announcing its decision. They announced that they were going to score the panel's vote to hold Attorney General Holder in contempt, and they have long been a critic of his, and they actually sent out letters saying, we're going to be monitoring this. We're going to